It's absolutely our pleasure this morning to welcome our innovation team from OmniTrans in San Bernardino, California. And their challenge is on cybersecurity customer data with a real concern for the security of data for OmniTrans' most vulnerable customers, riders of Omni Access Paratransit Service for people with disabilities was the impetus for their project. And it gives me a great pleasure to introduce the members of the OmniTrans team. We're going to start with Annette Garcia. Annette is currently serving high school students as an academic intervention mentor specialist. Her focus is supporting students with their academics and ensuring they are on the right track to complete their high school credits to graduate. She loves getting to know and learn from students as they can see things very, very differently. And Annette's career goal is to work as a computer engineer or in computer science. Annette, a pleasure to have you here this morning. Okay. Next, we move on to Bhavish Balsera. He is an international student from India. He's currently working at the University of California, Riverside as an IT security intern. He's also pursuing a master's degree in information systems and technology with cybersecurity as a concentration at California State University, San Bernardino. Bhavish completed his bachelor's degree in computer science in 2021 from the MIT World Peace University back in India. Bhavish, a pleasure to have you with us this morning. Next, I move to Devin Mitchell. Devin is a Cal State San Bernardino alum. He holds a degree in business analytics, and he's currently attending the master's program at California State San Bernardino for business management. His career goal is to become a substitute teacher or to be in the business side of education. Devin's hobbies include writing poetry and making music. Devin, welcome this morning. Next, I move to Lovely Alvarez. Ever since she was a child, one thing Lovely strived for was helping others, whether big or small. Growing up in San Bernardino, she has watched some members of her own family as well as others struggle due to a lack of resources. So Lovely's goal is to create equitable opportunities and bridge the gaps that make it hard for families to succeed. And her hobbies include photography and cooking. Okay. Morris Cabrera. Morris is currently enrolled at the California State University, San Bernardino as a full-time student. He is majoring in IST cybersecurity, and his career goal is to become a security response analyst, and his hobbies are working out and painting. And then rounding up, Morris, thank you for being here this morning and on the team, and lovely to you as well. I was sorry I forgot to give that hello to you, okay? And then Robert Velasco. Robert is currently attending Victor Valley College's Computer Information Systems program, and he's going to be transferring to California State University, San Bernardino to enroll in their cybersecurity program. His current career goal is to establish a foothold in the cybersecurity job market and gain the knowledge and expertise required to eventually earn employment at Microsoft, a company that he has admired ever since he was very young, and it would really be his dream to work for them. Robert's hobbies include building and fixing computers, researching recent and current cybersecurity events, playing video games, and seeking out and participating in new fashion trends. Robert, it is absolutely a pleasure. And with that, OmniTrans team, we're going to turn it to your video. Here we go.
Do you want me to start sharing the presentation or?
Nope, we're gonna get your video 1 sec.
We're gonna get your video up. We had I fooled them. I went through so quickly. See, they thought I was gonna take off. They had me down for 15 minutes. And so now they're like, oh my goodness, she's. But that's because you all had everything so beautifully packaged for me. That's it.
I had not received an OmniTrans video submission from my end. So I think we're able to just go straight into the OmniTrans presentation.
Thank you for that reminder, Isaiah.
Okay.
Excellent. We're gonna start your presentation with the timer. Go ahead, OmniTrans.
Okay, take it away.
Just want to share before we completely start. Can everybody see the presentation?
Looks
Yes.
good.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, good morning, everyone, or good evening. My name is Annette Garcia. I'm one of the participants in this innovation challenge. Today I have here with me is lovely Morris, Devin, Robert, and Babish, sorry if I mess up her name. Unfortunately, one of the members was not able to attend due to some circumstances, but he will be here with us in spirit. So our innovation challenge was cybersecurity customer data, focusing mainly on the information that would be leaked out or problems that would come about. And I will pass it along to. Oh, sorry, before we continue, I would also like to give a special thanks to OmniTrans support team here listed down below. They've been a great help, as well as the community support team. They also have been a great help pushing us through with this challenge, giving us the information that needed to be given to, and to get this innovation challenge moving on so that we can have a secure proposal for this security cyber. I will pass it on to Morris.
Alrighty, so good morning, guys. My name is Morris. And to start off with a quick little intro, so our proposal today is to implement multi-factor authentication. So a lot of you guys might be wondering, what is MFA? And to sum it up, it is basically an additional layer of security that requires users to provide multiple forms of identification in order to access their accounts or systems. So by implementing this, we can significantly reduce the risk of unauthorized access to sensitive information. Our proposal suggests that the use of Duo services for multi-factor authentication. Duo is a trusted service provider in the industry. It is known for its robust security features, so it would be a great idea to implement this. And by partnering with Duo, we can implement an efficient and user-friendly MFA system. So now let's talk about the financial aspect. So we estimate that implementing a proposed MFA system using Duo services would cost OmniTrans a total of $197,000, almost $200,000. And this investment is crucial because it ensures the protection of not just 65,000 people who utilize OmniTrans on a daily basis, but specifically for our disabled customers who rely on Omni Access paratransit services. Next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you.
Sorry, it seems to be not responding as quickly.
It was the previous one, I believe.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry.
Okay, awesome. So first and foremost, a secure authentication system ensures that a secure integration of various services. So by complying with industry standards and safe for data transmission, we can protect our customers' information while also providing them with a reliable and trustworthy platform. So furthermore, our system allows us to verify the legitimacy of a third-party service. So this feature ensures that only authorized and trusted services are integrated into our platform, minimizing the risk of data breaches and as well as fraudulent activities. So in addition, we prioritize the use of encrypted channels for secured communication. So this means that all data transmitted through the platform of a MFA is encrypted, reducing the risk of an interception. So another crucial aspect of this innovation is that collaboration with community organizations. And I stress this enough because we believe in the power of partnership and we actively seek to engage with local advocacy groups. So by partnering with these organizations or any community organizations, we can gather valuable feedback to meet specific requirements and addresses concerning with people with disabilities as well as underserved populations, especially here in the Inland Empire. So by actively involving the community, we can ensure that secure, secure and our secure platform is designed to cater their unique needs. So we want to bridge that gap for secure transportation access, providing a reliable and trustworthy service, especially to the underserved communities. So now I will pass it on to my colleague Robert here.
Hello, everyone, and good morning again. My name is Robert Velasco, and before I continue, I just want to say once again, big thanks to Dr. Scott, OmniTrans, the entire EI organization, everybody that's been able to give us this opportunity to present here. But to continue on, I would like to focus on the impact of what introducing a multi-factor authentication service into the OmniTrans business structure would actually bring and why it's important. So without this MFA, users are able to create easily guessable passwords that can essentially put their entire account at risk. But with this MFA, it would add an extra layer of security to mitigate that said risk. This also will help build trust within current and future OmniTrans users. By showing that their account data is safe, they'll be much more likely to continue to use OmniTrans as their preferred transportation platform compared to if their data would just be out there in the wild, I suppose. And then you can go on to the next slide. The implementation of an MFA system into the OmniTrans business structure would also put their business under proper cybersecurity compliance standards, such as the GDPR, which stands for General Data Protection Regulation, and the NIST, which is the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Along with putting the company on par with other organizations that are known for their data security, such as the college I'm going to be attending, California State University, San Bernardino, my current college, Victor Valley College, Google, Microsoft, the list can go on and on. Most major tech companies would recommend that businesses should have an MFA along with their structure. And to further go into what cyber hygiene is, let's say you're washing your hands, or if you want to think about how you get sick, really, you would get germs on your hands and it would spread to everywhere else. But a good way to prevent against that would be to wear a mask per se, or to wear gloves. And that's what the MFA would add on to your security that's already there. It's just an extra layer to ensure that nothing can get onto you, or to, I guess in this situation, guess your passwords without your knowledge. And then I'll pass it over to my co-presenter, Lovely, for the next slides.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon. I'm going to go over the risk assessment. So first and foremost, identifying the most important information in order to protect is really important when implementing an MFA. So we need to identify what systems, data, and assets we need to protect, which includes infrastructure elements, operational systems, financial data, and customer data. Then when identifying potential risks that would endanger our assets, we must look internally, which includes employee negligence, unauthorized access, as well as external threats like hacking attempts, malware, or social engineering. For every identified risk, we must assess its likelihood and impact. This means taking into account potential negative effects of a security breach. which may include but is not limited to monetary losses, reputational harm, regulatory noncompliance, and the effects on customers and operations. Next slide, please. Overall, the implementation of a multi-factor sorry, I forgot the term, of an MFA in OmniTrans system would assist in protecting the vulnerable information of thousands of clients. With a price of approximately $200,000, we can ensure that the organization can best fulfill the community by providing its clients a safe, accessible, secure network and transportation serving nearly 70,000 clients in the Inland Empire.
And I believe that wraps up everything we have to say. Thank you again for your time and consideration, for joining us in this presentation. Again, thank you to special thanks to all the communities out there, the OmniTrans, the Youth Project, organizations that help us with this project or this innovation challenge. If you have any questions, please let us know.
Perfect. Thank you so much. At this point, we're going to reset our timer and open up for the Q&A for the judges. Leslie, if you'd like to take it away when you're ready.
Thank you, Trey, and good morning, OmniTrans. We're so thankful to have you join us today. I'm Leslie Rogers, and I have the honor of serving as the chief judge with 4 distinguished panelists of judges also. In my prior life, I was the head of the Federal Transit Administration's Region 9 office in San Francisco, and I spent quite every quarter for about 4 years visiting OmniTrans regarding the SBX BRT project. We were doing it simultaneously with the Paris Valley extension, the Metrolink extension in Riverside. So I spent every quarter for 4 years bouncing between San Bernardino and Riverside. So I have a bit of an understanding of the system there. Let me turn to, we among our judges, I'm going to do this in reverse order this time and start with Greer Johnson Gillis, who is with the Jacksonville Transit Authority in Florida, where she serves as the Senior Vice President and Chief Infrastructure and Development Officer. Greer, you want to pose a question to the group?
I do. Thank you, Leslie. And good morning, OmniTrans. Thank you so very much for your presentation. As Leslie said, I'm Greer Johnson Gillis. I'm with the Jacksonville Transportation Authority because in my role, I have the opportunity of doing road building. So that kind of moves us a little bit out of just transit. But I'm very excited to talk to all of you. Very impressed with your presentation and even your concept on cybersecurity and MFA. So my question is twofold. You mentioned in your presentation that you are actively involving the community as you make this switch and bring on MFA. Tell me, how will you do that? And since one of your key audiences is for your paratransit customers, how are you going to make sure that what you do is accessible for the paratransit and disability community? Thank you.
So yeah, I feel for the community aspect. When it comes to involving the community in the transition of adding on Duo services, it would mainly be in the form of notices, I guess, to the community that they will be adding this on. It would require the users to download a separate app, but for the paratransit users, thankfully, Duo Security is very accessible. So there is multiple ways to access the notifications that it'll send in MFA. I don't know if you guys have used MFA before, but I actually have it on my phone. I'm not sure if you're able to see it. No, the background messes it up. But basically what would happen, I will use example, me logging onto my school server. So I will get a notification on my phone saying that, hey, someone's trying to log in. You can either tap the screen, go to the app located on your phone, use Siri, which is a voice assistant, or any Google voice assistant or anything of that sort. Ask it to open your phone, and then all you have to do is one simple press of a button, and it would allow you to log onto your account. That is also another part of involving the community. Thankfully, it's not too difficult to access, and all users would be able to access that information as well.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. As the chair, I want to take the liberty of going out of order and raising a question myself. And that is, was there perhaps a threat and vulnerability assessment undertaken to identify that you all had a problem? Have there been data breaches or anything of that sort? What warrants these concerns about data security?
I could probably answer that one as well. It's not specifically in OmniTrans that there has been a data breach through this way, but one big part of cybersecurity is identifying your vulnerabilities before they happen. Because if you do it after they happen, then it's kind of defeating the purpose of it. But like I said, I'd mentioned in my slides, bigger companies such as Google, really most transit organizations will do this as well, or colleges, anything that has sensitive information is important. You have something like that, like extra layer of protection, in order to protect your sensitive information. And when we did our own assessment, we being me, Morris, Annette, those within our group, we noticed that you're able to just log on without that multi-factor authentication. And doing that, if somebody were to have your credentials, they'd be able to access the information that you yourself had uploaded to OmniTrans. So it's important to have that extra layer of protection to prevent incidents from happening in the future.
Great.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I would also
Thank you.
like to add on a little bit to Robert. Oh, sorry.
Please go. Please do.
It's also a big factor because identity thief is also a major problem, especially with these people who are having a hard time already, getting the access they need to be able to, right? So with this layer of this MFA, it gives them that extra security, like, okay, I don't have to worry about anything else. I can, hop on the bus, or I can go on to whatever I need to without needing the anxiety or the anxiousness and behind you, because like if someone else were to steal it, then you would be stuck, and I'm pretty sure that can lead on to a little bit more problems or lead down to some other things that you would not really you wouldn't really enjoy. So with this form of layer, it gives us that extra security that we need, or like that, especially with older folks who doesn't really have that much, use with like technology or much knowledge with that. And I'm sure their younger, their kids or their siblings can help them with figuring that out. And they have that also security of, their information not being leaked out. So it's just that extra security that we can have ourselves, that we don't have to worry about when we need to get to somewhere, especially somewhere important, or, to visit a family member, or even just to go outside to the park. We still have that security with us with this MFA.
Thank you. Let me
Or
turn to
for-
our next judge, Julia Gessner. She is the Director of Administration at TransDev US. Julia, any questions for the team?
Yes. So first of all, I would like to say that this topic is so incredibly relevant. And while I think that it's very relevant to every single transit agency, every single business, and honestly, everyone in the community, it doesn't get the level of attention that it should. So I really applaud you all for picking this, because it is really difficult to make sure that you're communicating the concerns that you have, and also and coming up with a way to address them. A couple of things. I know we're talking a lot about how to educate the public. One of the things that I would recommend looking into in that area is looking at ways that you can turn this into kind of a community service, where you're not only educating them on how to implement multi-factor authentication on their own within the transit system, but also just cybersecurity in general, because it changes frequently, and it's just another way that the agency can help support and serve the community. But with that, one of the questions that I would have is, do you believe that there will be any type of decline in use once multi-factor authentication is implemented? And two, how would you measure the success of implementing this program?
So yeah, I don't believe there'd be any decline in use of users when implementing this, as the process of implementing it into the system is not difficult at all. Once you do implement the system, it'd be as simple as pressing a button for the user, which would take you directly to Duo, which would allow you to download it, and then it would automatically connect you between the two parties. So it's not a very strenuous process. So I don't believe there would be any major decline in users at all. And then the second question, can you repeat it one more time? I missed the last part.
Yes, so once you roll this out and you start having multi-factor authentication as a requirement, how would you measure success of the rollout?
So I believe the success measurement there, would be, as there hasn't been any, I guess, attacks yet or breaches yet, the continued success of having no incidents would be a good way to measure the success of that. And then as well as community feedback, if there's no community feedback that is negative towards it, I believe that'd be a good way to measure it. And then Morris, were you going to say something as well? Or?
Yeah, so
Okay.
adding on to your question, I like how you said the user feedback, because I think that's a very important way. But also another thing is the adoption rate. So measuring the percentage of OmniTrans customers who have enrolled and actively use MFA. So this metric indicates the level of acceptance and trust in the system among user base. And another thing is incident reports. So we can monitor the number of security incidents such as unauthorized access or attempts and data breaches before and after the implementation of MFA. And also support requests. So keeping track of the volume and nature of support requests related to MFA. So a decrease in support requests or a shift towards general inquiries rather than the technical issues can indicate that the improved user familiarity and acceptance to the system. So by regularly assessing these metrics, OmniTrans can basically gauge the success of implementing MFA and making informed adjustments if needed. So if that answered your question, yeah, for sure.
Thank you. I want to be
So also informing the public, like how you said, a lot of the public sometimes doesn't really know about the cybersecurity risks or data or dangers, basically. So basically launching campaigns or, having social media or public event and workshops to inform the public about, like, oh, don't click malicious links, when accessing certain websites, especially our own programs that we use or implement, so that can be very helpful too.
Yeah, I was just about to say, workshops or community events, those are a big help to keep the public or the community well much informed about cybersecurity, not just like, oh, this is great for you, but why? As to the why, because I'm pretty sure not everyone's gonna have a great understanding, or like, I don't need that. I'm fine. My personal identity is safe. I don't need to worry about that. So by them informing, or by them just having us the community events, the workshops, or even just mouth to mouth or word to mouth, I believe, just spreading that information around is a big help, because I was not much well informed about cybersecurity. I was well aware of the facts of like, okay, someone can get access to my Gmail account and that's it. Okay, I just need to change my password. But I never really got much more into depth of as to why that's important to keep that safe, or as to why like I should be even more concerned if someone were able to get an account of my Gmail account. So
Now
having
we're-
those workshops and that community events, especially I think community events, because we get to spread that awareness. We get to spread that, it is important, or why it is important, as to why MFA, or just like all of that data is important to keep safe.
Thank you. I may ask the timer for an indulgence to add 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
We'll turn to our next judge, who is Alicia Kane of Cubic Transportation Solutions, where she is the head of UMO Solutions and Market Development. Alicia, any questions for the team?
Sure, absolutely. You've hit a topic that's close to my heart. So thank you for that. Good presentation from everybody. My name's Alicia Kane, and I used to be the CIO at Chief Technology Officer at Hampton Roads Transit in Norfolk, Virginia. And so I think someone said, you know, this topic is not touched on enough. And it's agreed. There was a study that was put out. The transit agencies across the industry have a major issue with addressing cybersecurity. So kudos to you all for picking this topic. I have a couple of questions actually. And one, as a key focus of this innovation challenge, is to address the accessibility and inclusion for underserved, disadvantaged, and vulnerable communities. So there are several MFA vendors in the market, and MFA can be difficult for some populations if not implemented with the appropriate training and support in a way that takes into account the audience that it's impacting. So why did you pick Duo?
So I would say our main reasons for picking Duo is its widespread use in those challenged area or challenged communities as well. So like I said, at my college or at my next college, my future jobs or current jobs, there are those people that are maybe disabled, have issues with handling technology or things of that sort. But Duo is widespread and accessible to all of them compared to other MFA such as JumpShip or Microsoft's Azure platform. I believe that Duo is the easiest and most accessible out of all of them, just for all the features they have for accessibility and the ease of access and ease of use as compared to something like Azure or JumpShip.
Okay. So
Also
can you
adding on,
go ahead.
I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
But adding on to that, so it is compliance with standards. So Duo is known for its commitment and meeting industry standards, especially for data security and privacy. So by partnering with Duo, we can ensure that MFA implementation adheres and recognizes security protocols, so providing additional layers to protection and sensitive data.
I was also going to say, with Duo, there is a lot of disability testing, disability training for those challenged users. Like I said, they go out of their way to actually test the application with disabled users so they can model it around people with those real disabilities.
Did you do any comparative research on transit technology infrastructure across the industry to understand the level of need across the industry, and then compare it to what you're doing at OmniTrans?
While we didn't do any specific research on the comparative level, for me and for us, I believe all technical, anything that has a login, any technical aspect should have that MFA extra level of security on it. Like I said, it's just important to always have as much cyber hygiene as possible. And even without looking at the scale of everything, I believe it's important to have that there with it, if that answers your question.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks, the team. We'll turn to our final judge, and he is Andrew Brennan, who's the vice president at HNTB and engaged as a national transit and rail practice consultant. Andrew?
Thank you. I first want to say this was incredibly well done. Like everyone said, it's an important topic. This is not a topic that I deal with. Alicia lives and breathes this stuff. I don't, but I really understood and followed the logic. So I appreciate the simplicity and the clarity of it. I'm just curious as to why, when you started this, why did you pick the paratransit group? Is there something about that set of riders that they're more vulnerable to cybersecurity threats? Is it just that it's a piece of the ridership that then it can be expanded later? Like, what was it about the paratransit rider that said this is the right place to start?
I'll say something really quickly because I know we're low on time, but then I'll let anybody else that needs to or wants to answer along with it say something as well. But for me, choosing the paratransit industry, while everybody has the risk of getting their accounts tampered with, their information leaked, the paratransit industry is so important because these people actually upload their documents through OmniTrans, or they have it saved with OmniTrans. So making sure their account data is safe is most important to us over anything, because they have the most sensitive information compared to others. And then if Morris, you wanted to add on, we got like 40
for
seconds.
sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So really quickly, like you said, they're faced with so many challenges, but also you need an extra layer of protection due to its sensitive data that they have, such as medical records, accessibility needs, and all of that. You know, you can't really mess with that. So it's just very crucial that you have an extra layer of protection on that.
That's great. Thank
Just
you.
as Morris said, they're already facing many difficult challenges themselves, and having that security layer for their information, if they were able to be lead, again, it kind of goes back to identity fraud or identity thief, where they can steal their benefits that is specifically for them because of their hardships already. So if it was taken away from them, it would just make it much more harder for them, even though they're already having a difficult time as it is. So adding that extra security lever is, again, back to like that security that you have with yourself, that your information or your benefit is not being taken away from you, that is for you and for others around you as well. And it not only affects that person, but those around them as well, because they care for them as well. So for them, they're going to be worried, or their information is going to
10
be.
seconds, we're over time.
It's just, I feel like it's just that extra security that you need for yourself, mainly for yourself, because that's my benefit.
Beautiful. We will have to cut it there. Thank you.
Yeah, as we're doing with every team, we will provide you about 2 minutes for a wrap up or closing remarks from the team.
Well,
Again, your closing remark.
I would just like to say thank you again for everybody, for this company or for this organization, for giving us this opportunity to express this concern, or even just allowing me to meet somebody else new through this project. And to OmniTrans for support, giving us that information that we needed well addressed, or the community organizations out there as well. Again, thank you for everything. I enjoyed my time here. I'm so happy to meet you all. It is my pleasure. I will take this opportunity to heart because I really enjoyed this. It was so much fun.
Yeah, same goes for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, just thank you for everybody. I appreciate everything that OmniTrans, EI, all the supporters of this whole project. It has allowed me to meet new people, make new friendships, as well as look into topics that I'm already interested in and helping others implement into their company structures. So I really do appreciate it, and thank you all again.
Thanks, OmniTrans.